Welcome back to Nitro Gaming, guys. Today, of course, we are continuing our FC25 preparations, and I feel like I really need to lock in at this point because it is only a week away, and I'm just not mentally prepared for it at all, but today should help, because today I'm going to be telling you guys exactly the effect of these 4,600 FC points. Not only how to spend the FC points, how to make the most of them, but also how it's going to move the market and what you should do with the coins after you open these packs or whatever we do spend these FC points on. So we're going to go over all of the different options, but even if you don't have the FC points, even if you've only got the standard edition of the game, which most people do have the ultimate edition, I did a poll here on YouTube. It seems like EA are really forcing people into the ultimate edition more than ever because the standard edition is now $10 more. You don't get anything more out of the standard edition than you did in previous years, but the ultimate edition not only gives you 7 days early access, which is by far the most valuable of everything involved in the ultimate edition, but it also gives you that 4,600 FC points and everything else you see here on your screen. And so people are really inclined to just spend the extra 20 bucks. And honestly, it's a little less than that if you get some of the discounts like the 10% off or the 20% off from playing it in previous years. So realistically, the Ultimate Edition is the only logical choice for most people. But if you do only have the Standard Edition, then you can even get EA Play. EA Play is $5 on the store, and you can actually refund it as long as you refund it within a month. I'm just throwing that out there. So you can get 10 hours of early access through that as well. But even if you don't do that either, knowing how these cards are going to move on the web app for trading is going to be very valuable. So everybody's going to make sure that they get something out of today's video. But let's start with some of the ways we can spend those 4,600 FC points, because there are a few different ways. And the first one that I like to go over, of course, is the most obvious one: the buying 7.5k packs. Now, these are some of the worst packs in the game, and they will be all year, but they're likely going to be the only packs that are in the store right away. Once you get the Ultimate Edition, these are going to be the packs you see. Now, after 12 or 24 hours, we might see 15k packs or even 25k packs in the store, because last year, that's what EA did. They dropped promo packs that early. And what they like to do is they wait till everybody's opened those FC points, those 4,600 FC points, and then they drop more promo packs so that you're inclined to buy FC points rather than just use the ones that are already in your account. So you can rip these right away, or you can wait until those promo packs come out on day 2 to start ripping those 4,600 FC points. What I would suggest against is buying more FC points. You do not need to spend any on microtransactions, because we're going to get enough of a head start with this 4,600 that we will need. And you will regret spending that extra money later down the line. I will promise you that. But these 7.5k packs are probably even better than waiting for those extra promo packs, because those promo packs mean you're going to have to wait 24 hours. And if you take a look at the market, over the course of the first 48 hours, there is a huge rise in price. Take a look at Christopher Nkunku, for example. He is a good card at the beginning of the game. He had great stats all around. It wasn't anything crazy, but of course, he wasn't going to be cheap as an 86 rated French player from the Premier League. And so if you see on day number 1 of release, which is technically Friday, because a lot of people are going to be getting it in New Zealand first, and then there's going to be Europe, of course, and then the USA where I'm at. So that's actually all happening on Friday, which is the lowest point for these cards because nobody really has coins yet. It comes down to buying power. Buying power is the amount of coins people have in order to actually buy cards. If nobody has over 100,000 coins, then no cards can sell for over 100,000 coins. You could pack Pele. You could pack, well, I was going to say Messi, but it's a new era. You could pack Mbappe right away. And those cards might sell for 1.5, 2 million coins a few days in, but nobody's going to be able to afford that, bar maybe Bateson in the first couple hours of the game. And so you're going to have to wait on some of those cards in order to sell them. But on top of that, if you're able to afford them early, it means that you can buy them and they're going to rise in price really quickly once people start gaining coins. Now, of course, people that are trading like me and everybody watching my YouTube videos are going to be building their coins as well. And so they're going to have more buying power, but also the people who are just ripping thousands of dollars of FC points are also going to have more buying power. And so the earlier you get in on buying some of these cards, the better, because you are going to get in before people have buying power in order to make these cards go up in price to what they would actually be. So you take a look at Christopher Nkunku on day number 1 at 73,000 coins. Day number 2, he was averaging about 77K. Now, technically, this was day number 1 for me because Saturday on the 23rd was actually the release of the Ultimate Edition last year. This year, it's going to be on the 20th, just a heads up. So it's 3 days earlier, but same kind of concept, really. But over the course of that weekend and into the beginning of the next week, that card was now 98,000 coins. It was 73K. It went up to 98K. And that wasn't the best example of all of them, but generally you've got players from good leagues and good nations are going to do well. We can take a look at a couple of the other big cards from last year. Maybe I'll take a look at Mbappe and see what he did actually on the first couple of days. I know this is an extreme example, but if you look at what he was on day 1 versus day, 4, 2.2 million. Going up to 3.2 million. So you see how quickly these cards can go up. Let me go ahead and take a look at another, maybe a cheaper card. Saliba, possibly, could be an example. And we take a look at the first couple of days for him. And you can see that he was 46K. But by Monday, he was 67,000 coins. So a big increase on all of these meta cards right here. I'll do one more example, maybe Erling Haaland. This card, obviously not as good just because of the fact that he's Norwegian. Doesn't really link to as many things, but you're going to see similar trends for these cards. He went from 420,000 coins to 530,000 coins. So you're holding that card for about 2 days, 48 hours, yet you're making an increase on about 25 to 50% on coins. Now, I'll tell you what, there are going to probably be a couple of cards in the game that are going to go up more than 50%. They might even go up 100%. And what I'm telling you right now is that those graphs are only showing the daily average. When I showed you guys that first card, Christopher Nkunku, and he was, 46,000 coins? I can't remember, but let's, for example, say he was 46K. That was the average for the day. There was likely cards being listed for 30, and maybe he was even 30,000 coins for a couple of hours and then spiked up later in the day. So again, not only does the day matter, not only does getting in on the first day matter, but getting in the first couple hours matters. So if you're able to log in sooner than others, well, you've got a very big advantage on opening these FC points first. Now, if you're on, I believe it's Xbox, you can change your location to New Zealand in order to actually get the game sooner. Last year, however, it looks like EA are trying to release it all at the same time, but you still see different waves of people getting into the game before others. So make sure you're refreshing your page all day and seeing if you can get in. But let's go ahead and talk about how these FC points actually are going to work for us. Because if we do wait on those promo packs, instead of opening the 7.5K packs, well, we have to wait for 24 hours. And so that Christopher Nkunku may have already risen 25% by the time we open these packs. So you're really just banking on the fact that these packs are going to just be so much better for you that it's going to cover that 25%. Now, you might be saying, well, if I pack a Christopher Nkunku on day 1 and decide to sell it versus packing him on day 2, well, I could also be making more coins that way. But to really rebuttal that, you could just hold on to that Christopher Nkunku, but you're selling all of the non-rare golds, all of the chemistry styles, all of the cards that wouldn't be going up in price, which is why I'm going to drop an entire video as we get a little bit closer to the release of the game on if you should sell that card on day 1 or if you should hold that card on day 1, which is going to help you guys out a little bit, which, by the way, you guys should subscribe to the channel right now so that you guys don't miss any of the FC 25 content coming up. I'll be uploading at least 18 videos every single month, which is pretty much daily for the first month. So expect a video every single day. But as you open these 7.5K packs with FC points, what you're going to notice is that they're not going to add up exactly to the amount of FC points you get. So make sure that you guys are trying to look at the potential of getting some promo packs in the next couple days, don't leave yourself with annoyingly 50 FC points, because if you do that, you're going to have 50 FC points for the rest of the year. And then what are you inclined to do? You're inclined to get rid of those FC points by adding another 150 or 500 FC points so that it can be at 0. So make sure you do the math as you get down to like 1,000 FC points left, and make sure that you are buying packs to make sure that you have 0 FC points at the end of it. Now, Foot Draft is another example of a way to get even more packs out of your FC points. And I'm going to tell you the perks and the downsides to doing draft as well. Now, one of the perks of doing draft is the fact that if you are good at the game and you go far in the draft, you're actually going to get more packs and more valuable packs than what you would have gotten if you had just opened the packs in the store. The downsides to it are, one, you have to play draft, and that is just a miserable experience in itself. And two, if you do not end up winning the entire thing, then there's a good chance you either just wasted a ton of time making it to the final, or there's a potential where if you don't win the first game or you don't win the second game, you actually get rewards that are worse than going onto the store. So you have to be a good player for this to make it worth it. You have to go to at least the final to get rewards that are worth it. And even if you do make it to the final and don't win, the rewards aren't that much better than actually going into the store and opening packs that way. And you have to understand that when you're playing 4 games per draft with 300 FC points, well, 4 games is going to take you close to an hour. Maybe if you get some rage quits, 30 minutes to 45 minutes, which is a lot of time that you could be spending not only investing in cards that we're going to be talking about, but also doing some live active trading. We've got a ton of trading methods coming out on the channel that we're going to be talking about, where you're going to be wanting to spend some time on the transfer market, actively flipping cards. You're finding a card for cheap. You're selling it for a little bit more. It's the name of the game. The 1, 2, 3 method is, of course, one of them that I'm going to repeat probably 10 times for the next week, because it's the best trading method in the first couple of days. If you search this, and this might not work as well on FC24, given the fact that it is now September 12th, and quite frankly, there's probably not a ton of people bidding on the market. But if you search this exact filter, you're going to find cards that already have bids on them. And so, for example, if this Willie Orban had a bid of 1,400 on it, then you would assume the card goes for at least 1,400 on buy now. If you search it really quickly on Footbin, or if you want to do one of these quick compare prices and scroll across and you say, okay, maybe he does go for about 2,000 coins, then you place a bid of 1,500 on him and you move on to the next card. It's very effective early on for a few reasons. One, squad building challenges are very prevalent. People need random cards to complete these, especially the challenges ones where you have to go out and do advanced SBCs, which is that under foundations now? Yeah, it is. So hybrid leagues, hybrid nations, yada, yada. They always are requiring random cards that you wouldn't expect to go for 2,000 coins, but they do. And so if you go out and get them on bid, you're making profit. And the reason I bring all this up is because of the fact that if you're spending so much time trying to get better packs out of draft, you're wasting your opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity cost when it comes to investing in these cards, and the longer you wait, the more you're going to miss out on making profit. You could be making more coins while you sleep than actually going out and playing the game, and that's the truth. So make sure you're spending your time wisely, because these first couple days are really setting the tone for how many coins you're going to make. But don't overthink it. If you do like poorly on the first couple of days, maybe you get nothing in the packs, maybe you don't make the right investments early on, there's definitely time to make it up in the future. But it's always good to get a good head start on these. So let's recap some of the ways to spend these FC points. 1, you can rip them right away. It's probably what I'm going to do. 2, you can save some of them or all of them for the promo packs that are going to come out on day 2. Or 3, if you're a very good player, you can grind the draft and get rewards that way. And the last thing that I didn't even mention is single player draft, and don't put yourself through that. I promise you, it's not worth it. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a like on the video. You guys can follow me on Twitch. I'll be streaming some FC25 on there as well. And you can also follow my other channels. I've been ranting about EA on them, so maybe it could interest you as well. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.